Welcome back. So in previous lecture we have finished our secondary ion mass spectrometry technique. Okay, that is same technique. So in this lecture we are going to start new technique, that is backscattering techniques. So in that backscattering techniques there are two techniques. Okay, so one is the Rutherford backscattering techniques and another one is the low energy ion scattering. Okay, so there are two techniques. One is your Rutherford backscattering technique, which is abbreviated as RBS technique. Okay, and second one is the low energy ion scattering technique. So we will see first Rutherford backscattering technique. Okay, so in Rutherford backscattering technique, we have been basically involved what? Again the same solid sample. Again we are having the same solid sample like here. Again we are going to incident some radiation on the solid surface, and the ions or the particles which are going to coming out from the solid sample after interaction. So which type of interaction that going to take place we will see in the principle. So the basic idea of that surface characterization will remains the same, means here you can see that. So we will going to incident some primary beams on the solid sample, and the ions or the secondary ions that going to form, we are going to analyze the various parameters. Okay, so in this technique we are going to analyze the mass. Okay, so again it's mass spectrometry, where the spectrometry is the metry. So it generally, metry means mass. Okay, so characterization of mass is spectrometric techniques. Okay, so this is your what, Rutherford backscattering technique. Okay, so in as the name suggesting, like backscattering. Okay, so here there must be like scattering phenomenon should be occur. Okay, so first of all we will see first the what is the principle of this technique. Okay, so this technique is basically involve the scattering of your radiations. Okay, so scattering of your primary radiations from the solid sample. So scattering, and more specifically the scattering will be, we are going to mainly focusing on the back scattering of radiations. Okay, so consider here, so suppose we are going to incident the radiations having the energy E0, that are going to incident on the solid sample. Once they got interact with the solid sample, they get scattered. Okay, here we are going to have what, scattering. So in previous like secondary and mass spectrometry, once that ions got incident on the solid sample, the secondary ions are generated of what, solid samples. Okay, those secondary ions are of sample, but in this technique, that is Rutherford backscattering technique, the primary ion as well as secondary ion having the same nature. Means suppose in general we are going to use the helium plus or proton. Okay, proton as the source. Okay, in the backscattering experiment. So once we are using the helium as a source, the backscattered or the secondary ions are again of what, helium only. So we are not going to like differentiate the ions which are like secondary ions. So we are going to get the same type of ions, only the change in their energy will takes place. That energy change we are going to determine. Okay, so this energy change of same particle that we are going to determine. So the basic principle of this Rutherford backscattering technique is, once the monoenergetic ions of helium, okay, of this helium or protons are incident on the solid surface, which are having the energy. Okay, so once the ions of helium or hydrogen or helium positive are incident on the solid sample having the typical energy barrier of around 0.5 to 2.5 mega electron volt. Okay, mega electron volt. So that ions are going to directed on the target material, and the energies of ions which are get scattered. Okay, so ions might be get scattered and the at various direction. Okay, the ions which get scattered in the various directions, we are going to determine the energies of that scattered ion. Okay, back scattered ion. So this will forms the principle of this Rutherford backscattering technique. Okay, so the basic requirement for determining the energy of backscatter ion is the masses. Okay, so mass of this incident ion or the primary ion and the mass of that secondary or the mass of our secondary ion will be same. Okay, so here the masses of primary as well as secondary ions will be same. So the change in energy of this, okay, so here we will be mainly focusing on the change in energy of this scattered particles. Okay, change in energy of that scattered particle. And also as we know that is scattering phenomenon is a angle dependent. Okay, so as we going to determine the scattering probability at various angles, scattering probability at various angles, so that will also depends or decides the nature of our or the yield of our secondary ions. Okay, so there is a one formula. Okay, so there is one formula which will tells you the all the parameters which are going to change into the analysis of your solids. Okay, so that formula is, okay, instrumentation we will see later on. So that is called as a kinematic factor K. Okay, so it is the ratio of, simply the kinematic factor, it is the ratio of energy ratio between the projectile energy, that is capital E. Here you can see, so the it is the ratio of capital E upon E0. Okay, E0, it is E0. Okay, so the kinematic factor is the ratio of energy ratio which shows the change in the energy after scattering. Okay, change in the energy after scattering. So suppose that we are having once that m1 of like helium or hydrogen positive is incident on the solid, so it gets scattered at particular angle. Okay, at particular angle it gets scattered, the angle is again alpha. Okay, so angle gets scattered, sorry, that rays get scattered having the energy E. Okay, and the energy or the remaining energy is what, the energy which is going to get transferred to the solid surface. Okay, for the solid surface we are going to transfer this energy, it will be having some another energy E2, say E2. Okay, so the energy, mass and the angle of scattering, all these things are related by the equation which is given by this. Okay, so the kinematic factor K is equals to E upon E0, that is first in numerator is the energy of scattered particles divided by the energy of incident radiations. Okay, so the energy of scattered particles as well as energy of the incident particles are known to us. Okay, so we are having the known like 2.5 to 2.5 mega electron volt source we are going to use. Okay, so the energy of incident particles are known. Also we can determine the energy of that scattered back scattered radiations. Okay, m2 is the mass of the our target materials. Okay, m2 is the mass of our target material, m1 is the mass of our incident particles. Okay, again m1 is also known, m1 is what, the mass of incident particle. For so hydrogen it will be 1, for helium it will be 4. Okay, so the mass of our incident particles are also known. So m2 is the mass of target material, and theta is what, theta is your angle of scattering. Okay, or the scattered angle, back scattered angle. So theta is also going to known because the instrumentation is set up in such a way that all of these things are known. Okay, so here you can see that this is the instrument which is used for the Rutherford backscattering experiment. Okay, we will see detail of this instrument. So like here you can see there is a rotating sample chamber. Okay, rotating sample chamber. So once we are going to have some incident radiation on the sample, so detector is going to determine the which radicals are going to get uh, ejected. Okay, or scattered from the sample. So that radiations are simply detected by using detector, and they get like various phenomenon occur and we get the spectra. Okay, so we will that see you later. Okay, so the main thing here is what, we need to have the idea of what we really need to like find out is the mass of our sample. Okay, so mass of our sample, so that can be determined by using this formula. Okay, so energies of that scattered radiations are known, scattered particles are known, incident particles energy is also known. Theta is scattered angle or backscattered angle which is also known. So only thing that we need to find out is the M2. Okay, so for the maximum probability or for the maximum yield of the scattering, the general angle for scattering is taken as 180 degree. Okay, 180 degree. The general angle for backscattering is considered to be 180 degree for the maximum yield. But suppose we are going to use this 180 degree of angle, then since this detector size is large, okay, so here you can see if we use the backscattering angle as a 180 degree means what, from here radiations comes, okay, so from here radiation will come, and 180 degree means what, again it will be going to get backward direction. So you need to place the detector on the path of this incident radiation. So in order to avoid this, generally detector is placed around 170 degree centigrade. Okay, degree, okay, 170 degree, okay, not degree centigrade, it's a temperature unit, okay, only degree. So the detector is generally placed on 170 degree. Okay, so the this will gives you the idea about the theta. Okay, so this will gives you idea about the theta, that is the scattering angle. So this is the one thing that we can determine the mass of our target material. Okay, so outline of that basic principle is what, once we are going to incident some particle of known energy on the sample surface, that particle get back scattered into the various directions. So we are going to determine the energy of that backscattered ions at particularly 170 degree by using the detector. So the ratio of that particular ions gives you the idea about mass of our unknown solid. Okay, idea about the mass of unknown solid. By using this formula you can simply determine the mass. Okay, so this is the basic principle. Okay, so this is again what, qualitative analysis means you can determine the mass. So mass will directly related with what, qualitative analysis. So for quantitative analysis or for the depth profiling technique, this also can be useful. So when we use the hydrogen as the source, when we use the hydrogen as the source, okay, so you can see the basic characteristics or the some important points for these techniques as like, this is a elemental composition and depth profiling techniques. Okay, so both can be analyzed. So for elemental composition we have already seen, like for by using mass we can determine the elements. Also the energy region which used for the this ions can gives you the penetration power of that primary ions. Okay, so once that ions get penetrated, their energy is going to get reduced. Okay, so that also can be used for the determination of the depth of our that particular ions. Okay, depth of that particular ions. So that will be useful for the depth profiling. Again next is the quantitative method. Okay, without reference sample. So in secondary and mass spectrometry or other techniques, we need certain sample or reference sample. So with respect to that we are going to determine the mass, but in this technique we need not to be require the specific reference. Okay, again it is a non-destructive technique. Okay, so it is a non-destructive technique, since like we are going to use the primary beam as helium, not beam, it's like helium source. So helium source, and again we are going to determine the energy of helium only. So it is non-destructive technique. Okay, and for if you use the specifically helium source, we are going to get the depth around 2 micrometers. And if you use the proton as a source, we are going to get the depth profiling of around 20 micrometer. So it is a very sensitive technique which will gives you the like mm, accurate result up to parts per million. Okay, so it will be like less sensitive for the lighter elements. Okay, more sensitive for the heavy elements, because we know that like the difference in the energy will gives you the better results. Okay, so the difference in the, sorry, not energy, masses of the primary means this helium and hydrogen will gives you the better result. Okay, so if there is a large difference between incident particle, that is helium and hydrogen, and the our sample, then it will be gives you the better result. So it will be more sensitive technique for the higher elements. Okay, higher elements or heavy elements. Okay, so this is the basic principle of our Rutherford backscattering spectrometric technique. Okay, so this is the instrumentation which is generally used for the Rutherford backscattering experiment. Okay, so in this you can see that, okay, there is a helium source. Okay, so here is a helium source which is going acceleration into the some tandem accelerator. Okay, so it is like operated in the 2.5 to 0.5 mega electron volt. Okay, so very high voltage is applied across this accelerator, so the ions get accelerated into this chamber. Okay, into this chamber. So it is generally accelerator is nothing but your simply a like increasing potential of opposite polarity. Okay, so helium positive is used, then accelerator is generally a negative, only negatively charged rods are there which are having increasing potential. Okay, so that our ions get kinetic more kinetic energy. Okay, more and more kinetic energy. Okay, so once that ions are get like ejected from the accelerator, it get into the magnetic assembly, like analyzing magnet and switching magnet. So here we are going to separate the ions based on their mass and charges. Okay, so even if we are going to use the source of helium, there might be some like other interfering ions or the atmospheric ions which might come into the interference of this analysis. Okay, so we need to eliminate that ions by using again that same magnetic analyzer tube that we have previously used in the various techniques. Okay, like for chemical analysis ISCA technique, we have used that magnetic analyzer tube. Okay, same sort of instrument is used in the this magnetic analyzing magnets. Okay, then that magnet or the ions are incident on the solid sample, we are going to get some back scattering of that radiation or scattering of that particular radiation, and the ions or the scattering angle at around 170 degree gives you the best result. So we are going to place the rotating detector at 170 degree. So we are going to get the particular signal. That signal is again amplified and transferred to the electronics, so we will get the digital signal. So in the end we are going to get the spectra in terms of that yield of that particular ions at particular angle. Okay, yield of that particular ions versus the backscattering energy. Okay, so the spectra is obtained. So we'll see first. Okay, one by one we are going to see the instrumentation. Okay, in next lecture.